You might think you know what attraction looks like, that subtle smile, the laugh you think is meant for you, the way she touches her hair when you're around. But here's the harsh truth. Most men lie to themselves. They convince themselves that she's just busy or she's shy. They twist reality to protect their ego. And the worst part, you've been doing this for months, maybe years, while she's already emotionally checked out. This isn't about being needy or insecure. It's about clarity, about seeing the truth before it breaks you. A woman who's genuinely interested doesn't make you guess. Her signals are loud, unmistakable, even when subtle. But when she's not into you, her behavior becomes a minefield of contradictions. You interpret avoidance as playing hard to get, indifference as she's just busy, and silence as she must be stressed. Every rationalization you make is just another layer of self-deception. Men fall into this trap because hope feels safer than reality. You're afraid to confront the truth because it hurts, but I promise you, the longer you ignore it, the more it drains your confidence, your energy, and even your ability to trust your instincts. The first brutal sign is lack of initiation. If she's never the one to reach out, to call, to text first, don't fool yourself. Attraction is an active energy. A woman who wants you will create opportunities to communicate. She will spark the connection, even in subtle ways, because it matters to her. If you are always the initiator, if your messages hang unanswered or her responses are delayed, short, or lukewarm, this isn't playing hard to get. This is emotional disengagement. And the more you chase, the less she invests. It's counterintuitive, but chasing a woman who's not invested makes her feel less responsible for showing interest, which in turn damages your self-worth. The second warning is inconsistent behavior. One moment she's hot, affectionate, playful. The next, she's cold, distant, unresponsive. You try to make sense of it, thinking, maybe she's confused, stressed, or testing me. Here's the brutal truth. Inconsistency is often the hallmark of low interest. A woman who is genuinely drawn to you will maintain emotional coherence. She doesn't vanish without explanation or retreat into emotional unavailability. Her mood may fluctuate, yes, but her investment in you remains stable. Inconsistent attention is her way of keeping you on the hook while keeping her options open. It's not romantic, it's manipulative. And then there's body language, a silent but merciless truth detector. Notice the little things, the way she angles her body away from you, how she avoids prolonged eye contact, how she keeps her personal space tight. She might smile, laugh, and nod, but her posture screams something entirely different. A woman who wants you leans in, touches subtly, makes herself present in your space without hesitation. If you feel the absence of that magnetic pull, it's not your imagination. It's her disinterest speaking louder than words ever could. Men often dismiss these signs because denial feels safer than rejection. But here's the brutal reality. Continuing to invest in someone who isn't invested in you is a slow erosion of your dignity. Every moment you spend waiting for her signals is a moment you could have spent with someone who truly sees you, appreciates you, and reciprocates your energy. Understanding these first signs is not cruelty, it's liberation. It's the first step toward protecting your emotional life from endless disappointment. Now that you understand the subtle signals, let's dig deeper, because the signs of disinterest aren't always loud or obvious. Some of the most devastating ones are quiet, almost imperceptible, but they erode your confidence in ways you don't even notice. One of the most brutal truths is this. When a woman isn't into you, she doesn't prioritize your time. Think about it. Every time you suggest meeting, texting, or calling, she hesitates, cancels, or forgets. She has the time for everything else, her friends, her hobbies, even scrolling endlessly through social media. But you are optional. You are the afterthought. And men convince themselves that someday she'll make time. That's not hope. That's delusion. Another sign is emotional unavailability. You might share personal stories, your dreams, your fears, hoping for reciprocity. but she remains surface level, vague, or changes the topic whenever you get deep. She laughs at your jokes, comments casually, but never lets herself truly connect. Genuine interest creates emotional intimacy naturally. When it's absent, there's a wall you can't break, and every attempt chips away at your self-esteem. You start questioning your worth, your charm, your value, because she never invests emotionally in you. Pay attention to her words versus actions. This is where men get trapped the most. She might say, "I'll call you," "Let's hang out soon," or "I like talking to you," but her actions betray her. Empty promises are a tool of self-preservation. She wants to appear nice, polite, or interested without actually committing. A man who ignores this warning risks months of wasted energy and emotional exhaustion. Words without action are like shadows. They exist, but they don't hold substance. Learning to read beyond what she says is crucial if you want to avoid heartbreak and preserve your dignity. Then comes disinterest disguised as teasing. Have you ever noticed how some women laugh at your jokes, flirt a little, even playfully tease, but the energy feels hollow? That's not attraction, that's amusement without investment. She enjoys the attention, the ego boost, the sense of control, but she's not emotionally or physically engaged with you. Men misinterpret this as flirting, as a spark, as hidden affection. But this is the silent assassin of hope. It keeps you invested in something that's never going to reciprocate. Finally, recognize effort imbalance. Relationships, even casual dating, require a certain rhythm of give and take. If you are always the one adjusting schedules, making plans, initiating contact, or compromising, you are carrying the emotional weight alone. This imbalance isn't romantic. It's a warning sign. A woman who is genuinely interested will mirror your energy. She will invest as much as you do. If she doesn't, it's not a reflection of your value. It's a reflection of her lack of investment. Understanding these subtle, brutal truths is like shining a light into a dark room. It's uncomfortable, it's unsettling, but it's the only way to protect your emotional well-being. Accepting that someone isn't into you doesn't make you weak. It makes you self-aware, confident, and prepared for someone who actually matches your energy. Every minute spent chasing the wrong woman is a minute you could have spent on growth, on connection, and on someone who truly sees you. By now, you've seen the obvious signs, the ones that men often ignore because they feel too painful to acknowledge. But the most devastating indicators of disinterest are subtle, almost invisible, and that's what makes them so dangerous. They creep into your mind, distort your perception, and leave you questioning yourself long after the interaction ends. One of the most powerful of these is her lack of curiosity about your life. When a woman is genuinely interested, she wants to know your world, your thoughts, your passions, your dreams. She asks questions, remembers details, and follows up. When she's not into you, conversations feel one-sided. You're the performer, she's the passive observer. She smiles, nods, maybe even laughs, but it's empty. The absence of genuine curiosity is the silent declaration of disinterest. Another brutal truth is her avoidance of commitment, even in small ways. This isn't about proposing marriage or moving in together. It's about every little micro-commitment that signals interest. Will she confirm plans ahead of time, or is everything tentative? Does she show up when she says she will, or does she cancel last minute because something came up? These small decisions are psychological indicators of where she stands. A woman who's emotionally invested prioritizes these commitments. One who isn't will treat them as optional, leaving you to navigate the uncertainty alone. Men often rationalize this as, "she's busy," or "she has a lot going on." But that's not attraction. It's disinterest dressed up in convenience. Then there's her energy level when you're together. Think about the way she responds in person. Does she engage with enthusiasm, or is it mechanical? Does she mirror your excitement, or does it feel forced? Genuine attraction isn't passive, it's magnetic. A woman who wants you will radiate energy that makes you feel alive, wanted, and appreciated. When that energy is absent, when interactions feel draining rather than invigorating, it's a red flag. Men often dismiss this, convincing themselves that maybe she's just tired or maybe she has a bad day. But repeated patterns tell the truth. If her presence leaves you exhausted instead of energized, she's not invested. Next, notice how she treats your boundaries and availability. A woman who is into you respects your time, your decisions, and your emotional space. She doesn't push, guilt, or manipulate to get attention. But a woman who's not invested may only reach out when convenient for her, expects immediate availability, or disappears without warning. This inconsistency isn't just frustrating, it's a psychological warning. It signals that your presence is negotiable, not valued. Every man who ignores this slowly adapts to lower standards, normalizing a lack of respect as part of dating. This erodes confidence more than rejection ever could. Finally, there's the internal gut feeling you've been avoiding. Every man senses it, the small nagging intuition that something isn't right. Maybe it's a hollow laugh, a diverted gaze, or that unexplainable sense of being unimportant. You rationalize it away, trying to convince yourself she's just shy or just busy. But your subconscious isn't wrong. That feeling exists because it is seeing reality your conscious mind refuses to acknowledge. Ignoring it is like walking through a minefield blindfolded. The longer you stay, the more damage it does to your emotional well-being. Recognizing these invisible signs is terrifying because it forces you to confront the truth. She's not into you, and no amount of hope or rationalization will change that. Accepting this reality isn't weakness, it's power. It frees you to invest in yourself, in clarity, and in someone who truly values your presence. Men who see the truth early reclaim their confidence, their energy, and their ability to trust themselves again. By this point, you've seen the obvious signs, the subtle cues, and the invisible truths. But the most dangerous phase is when hope masks reality, when you convince yourself that her interest is just hidden, complicated, or coming soon. This is the psychological trap men fall into most. You've probably felt it, the tug of desire mixed with uncertainty, the nagging voice whispering, "She'll come around, she just needs time." But here's the brutal truth. Time doesn't make someone care. Time only magnifies the effort you're wasting chasing someone who isn't invested. One of the deadliest patterns is the mirage of affection. You notice moments of warmth, flirty smiles, casual touches, or laughter, but these fleeting glimpses are often decoys. They're not signs of attraction, they're emotional bait. Women who aren't interested will occasionally give attention because it's convenient, amusing, or ego-boosting for them. Men interpret these moments as proof of connection, building hope on illusion. The more you analyze these tiny flashes, the more you distort reality, convincing yourself she's into you when she's simply entertaining herself. Another critical sign is deliberate ambiguity. She might say things like, "I'm not ready for anything serious," or "We'll see what happens," leaving you suspended in uncertainty. Your mind starts creating narratives. Maybe she's scared. Maybe she's playing hard to get. Maybe you just need to prove yourself. But here's the raw truth. Ambiguity is a defensive mechanism. It keeps you engaged without requiring her to invest emotionally. She doesn't owe you clarity, and when she doesn't give it, it's a clear indicator of lack of interest. Men often misread this as challenge, when in reality it's rejection wrapped in sugar. Then comes the emotional drain. You start noticing that every interaction requires energy, planning, and mental gymnastics. You overthink every text, every pause, every smile. Your mind spins scenarios, analyzing body language, timing, tone, and possible motives. A woman who's genuinely attracted energizes you, makes engagement feel effortless. When the interaction leaves you anxious, second-guessing, or exhausted, it's a signal you've crossed the line from potential connection to emotional depletion. This is where denial becomes costly. Men stay because hope feels safer than truth, and every day spent in this pattern chips away at confidence and self-respect. Finally, there's the pattern of selective engagement. Notice when she interacts. Does she reach out only when it's convenient, only when she needs something, attention, validation, or ego fuel? Or does she genuinely create shared experiences, moments of fun, and meaningful connection? If the pattern is mostly one-sided, it's a harsh reality. You're a backup, a pastime, or an option, not someone she truly wants to prioritize. Men ignore this because the moments of attention feel addictive, like sugar. But these intermittent glimpses of affection aren't investment. They're a trap designed by human psychology to keep you hooked while she remains emotionally detached. Understanding this stage is crucial. It's not about bitterness, resentment, or arrogance. It's about perceptual clarity. Seeing the truth allows you to step back, reclaim your energy, and redirect your attention toward people who are truly aligned with your emotional investment. Every man who ignores these patterns stays trapped in a cycle of hope, denial, and emotional exhaustion. Every man who recognizes them gains freedom, confidence, and the ability to seek connections that genuinely matter. Now, it's time to face the truth fully, without filters, without hope masking reality. The previous signs, subtle and obvious, all point to one reality: she's not into you. And confronting this truth is the most liberating yet terrifying step you can take. Because when you finally accept it, something inside shifts. No longer do you chase illusions. No longer do you rationalize absence or ignore red flags. You reclaim the control that was slipping from your hands the moment you began believing her interest was conditional on your effort. One of the most brutal but empowering realizations is this: her lack of interest is not a reflection of your worth. Too many men spiral into self-blame, thinking they're not good enough, not attractive, not exciting. The truth is, attraction is not a measure of your value. It's a measure of alignment. She's not aligned with you, and that's her choice. It's not a judgment on your character, your masculinity, or your desirability. Accepting this is a radical act of self-respect. It allows you to step away without bitterness, and more importantly, without losing your confidence. Another truth you need to embrace is hope is the cruelest trap. Hope tells you she'll call, text, or come around. Hope convinces you that persistence equals eventual success. But in reality, hope in the wrong person is a slow erosion of self-esteem. Every moment you spend waiting for her signals is a moment lost. Lost energy, lost opportunities, lost potential relationships with women who genuinely want you. The moment you stop hoping and start observing, clarity emerges. You see patterns for what they are. You feel the difference between someone who truly invests in you and someone who doesn't. Then there's the freedom in detachment. When you stop chasing, you release yourself from the emotional weight of unreciprocated effort. The relief is immediate and profound. You can redirect energy toward your passions, growth, and social circles that enrich your life. You begin to notice women who naturally respond to your presence, who seek you without effort, who engage with genuine interest. This shift, from desperation to awareness, is what transforms men into magnetic, confident individuals. You are no longer the pursuer in a one-sided game. You become the prize, the person whose attention is earned, not begged for. Finally, the ultimate truth is emotional honesty is your superpower. Stop lying to yourself about her interest. Stop twisting her actions into signs of hope. Stop rationalizing coldness as mystery or unpredictability. Confront the reality: she's not invested. And then ask yourself, do you want someone who is half-hearted, inconsistent, and draining, or someone who lights up when you enter the room, who respects your time, and who matches your emotional investment? The choice is yours, and recognizing the signs allows you to make it consciously. Before we end, here's a question for you, a challenge to reflect on yourself. If emotional investment is 10 units and she only gives 3, how much energy are you wasting trying to make it 10? Comment your answer below. Like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend who needs to hear this truth. Remember, recognizing these brutal signs doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise, strong, and ready for someone who truly values you. Stop lying to yourself, see clearly, act boldly.